18-2 in sets in conference. Kendall Sorge, 2,000 career dig. She's one of 8 active players in the NCAA right now that is at that 2,000 dig mark. Panthers host Evansville tonight before Southern Illinois and Missouri State. So, Coach Peterson.
Well, first of all, just really proud of our team on the weekend. I think one of the biggest things is we played at a consistent level for most of the weekend. We had a couple spurts in there. Anybody was at the matches probably know one of those spurts, but for the most part, we played at a really consistent level. And that's one of the things we've talked about with our team is that consistency. And I felt that way in all areas of the game. I think it was a total team effort. We did a really good job of when something wasn't working, being able to try to figure something else out. I thought the execution of the game plan was really good. And if I was to pick 2 areas where I thought we improved the most or were the most consistent at, first of all, I call it just scrappy, gritty ball and just the ability to keep the ball alive. I thought we got a lot better at that. I think that's always been something we try to hang our hat on, but I think we've been a little bit inconsistent with that this year, and I thought we did a great job with that. And then the other part, which is more exciting for me, was our ability to better the ball. And we talk about that a lot. And I don't necessarily feel that our first contact got a lot different. And we're talking about digs and serve receive with that first contact, but our ability to better that second ball and then the decision making that we had by our attackers on that third ball. So we're getting our ball, that second ball in front of an attacker, and then our attackers are making better decisions in terms of, is this an opportunity to put the ball away? Is this an opportunity to stress out the defense? Or is this an opportunity where we just have to keep the ball in play? And that's a maturity level a little bit. Part of that's where they're getting the ball, the position they're putting themselves in, but thought that was much improved. JJ hit 417, which is just a really high stat for a pin in general. But for her, I thought that was one of her best performances this year against Illinois State. Kate Buswitz continues to do great things in my mind. Just a workhorse out there, hitting at a very high efficiency. So she's becoming somebody that teams really have to worry about. Carly continues to have high production on both sides. Another weekend of 2 double-doubles. Rachel, her decision-making, her ability to do other things on the court. She's picked up her serving. I think she actually even led in digs against Bradley. So other parts of her game are really coming along as well. And then obviously Kendall, it was really cool because she received that milestone, the 2,000th dig. I think she moved into second all-time at UNI. But it was a really good weekend for her too. So it was neat that she got those honors on a weekend that she played really well, and I think really took over in both the passing and defensive game. So really proud of our effort. Tonight we have our 3rd match in 4 days, and that presents its own challenges, but Evansville's in the same boat. What I think is a little bit difficult about this match is, first of all, obviously I talked about last week, the little bit of preparation. Obviously, we didn't do a whole lot yesterday on the court, so a lot of film and watching Evansville and trying to work on game plan based on just seeing it versus actually doing it out on the court. But Evansville is an extremely tough team that is very difficult to put a game plan together for. They are 1-6 in the conference, which is very misleading. I think 3 of those matches went 5 sets, but they're a team that has multiple players that can do different things. They put them in different positions. They come in and out of a 5-1, modified 5-1, 6-2. So they're doing lots of different things within the same match. And so for us, really coming out with a game plan is not going to be probably beneficial for us because we're going to come with the game plan and they're going to have a totally different lineup. So part of our thing is just having maybe different things that we're going to do against different players and then basing it on how they line up the very first whistle and then making our adjustments on that. And I like our ability to do that, but it does present some challenges. Tam on the pin is one of the best in the conference. I think she's second in kills per set and points per set. So just somebody that's very difficult to defend because she's just as good on the left as she is on the right. So somebody will definitely work to slow down. So we're looking for a really good match tonight. And then on the weekend, we have not honestly done anything as far as scouting against Southern and Missouri State with having 3 matches that we've had to prepare for. There's been 0 time for that. I will say, obviously, we're watching them as we're scouting the teams that we've played. So we have seen them on video. We just haven't broken anything down. But those of you that have been a part of our program for a long time, you know that the Southern Illinois gym and the Missouri State gym have been two very difficult places for us to play over the years. So we know they'll both be prepared, and Missouri State's on a 3-match winning streak right now, always well coached to both those teams. So we're looking forward to a couple battles. And again, that trying to get ready for those matches when we'll for sure take tomorrow off, and then we'll see how Wednesday and Thursday go based on how our team's feeling after what we've had over the last week. Any questions?
Bob, you mentioned some of the things that stood out in the last match, but the 6-match winning streak since that loss at Creighton, is there anything that stands out that has kind of flipped the tide for you to get on that roll?
Well, I think the Creighton match was a really tough loss for us, and not just because it was a loss, but how that happened. I mean, I think it was one of those matches where I think our kids, being honest, I felt like we gave up, and it just was nothing about who we wanted to be. So I think we definitely, it was kind of a point. It's like, okay, which way are we going to go right now? And I think our kids did a really good job of saying, okay, that's a match we can just forget and move on. I think the other thing is we're working really hard at being purposeful in getting a little bit better at something every day. You know, we're not trying to make big strides in a week, but we have to make sure that every time we step on the court, we're getting just a little bit better. And that's how you win a conference championship. And that's how you get to the NCAA tournament and make some noise when you're there, by just focusing a little bit every day at getting better at something. And I think our kids have really embraced that. And I think at the beginning, maybe we're trying to do too many things all at once, or maybe getting too better at something too much, if that makes sense. So like, instead of taking those baby steps that it takes to really get better at something and stay consistent with that.
What have you thought about how this team's been blocking, not just this past week, but maybe even dating back to that Valpo match, which was a good one on the block?
Yeah, we have definitely improved in blocking, and that is an area we spend a lot of time in practice over the last few weeks. And part of it is, it's not even the number of blocks that we get. You know, I don't. To me, it's a very misleading stat, because you can be doing your job as a blocker and really not get a block. And, you know, that's hard for a lot of people to understand. But we look at our block because we feel really strong about our backcourt, as you got to take away as much space as possible. You're going to take away the shots that we feel are the strength of that particular player, or maybe that play, or serve-receive rotation. And I think our kids have done a really good job of making those changes. And, you know, it has resulted in, I think, getting more blocks, which is also a positive. But I do think that our kids are just doing a really good job of the game plan execution and just being better blockers.
Getting to 2,000 days is pretty difficult. I guess that means you have to be really good at your job for a long period of time. Talk about getting to 2,000 days.
Yeah, and I'm just so incredibly proud of Kendall. And, you know, she's a kid that came in, and really what we talked to her about, because we had Amy Held, I'm sure all of you remember Amy, as our libero. And we talked to Kendall about, we're going to ease you in. You'll be a DS to start with. And then when Amy leaves, we look at you taking over the libero position. And because of some changes we had in our personnel, and we ended up moving Amy to a pin, Kendall, halfway through her freshman year, ended up being in that libero position. So I know she was ready for it. I know she was excited about it. But like you said, it takes a lot of work to be able to get to that number. And this is only the third player in our history at UNI, and we've had some incredible defense over the years. And so to have that just shows you how difficult it is to get to that point. And it's being able to do that year after year after year. You know, you can have a really good couple years, but you got to have 4 really good years to be able to get to that point. And I love Kendall, and you know, she's just someone that has just continued to get better, not just on the court, but you know, she was kind of a shy leader, maybe just only led by example, but she has really done a good job of getting out of her comfort zone and helping us in our program in a lot of other ways as well. All right, thank you.